What is going on, guys? This is Almost Expert Wrestling, and once again we have our guest Kyle with us, who you can follow on Twitter at Kyle Smith WWE. Today we're going to be talking about Daniel Bryan. Of course, he's been injured recently, neck injury, and we're going to discuss basically what's going to happen when he makes his return, what position he'll be in, and all of that stuff. So let's get to it. All right, and to begin this discussion, I'll hand pretty much the mic over to Kyle, who's our guest today, and I'm going to ask him what's his role, Daniel Bryan's role, going to be when he comes back from this injury, and what do you think?
Alright, well, I obviously think he's going to be back in the WWE Championship picture. There's no reason that Daniel Bryan would not be in the title picture. I mean, he was the most recent champion before Cena, so bringing him back and making him a top face will be in WWE's mind. I realize Vince McMahon is probably upset about the injury. I mean, he was on top, and then he really wanted him to go longer, still continue his feud with Kane, and then move on to probably Cena and stuff. But it didn't work out that way. But I don't even know when Bryan's going to return in this situation. But when he does come back, I do believe he will be a top guy again. He's going to be a face. He's so over. He's still over. No matter, I think he could miss years, and he would still come back as popular as he was when he left. And so what do you feel? Do you feel like he's going to be in the championship picture, or do you feel like WWE is going to do something different with him?
Well, basically, I think, like you said, I feel the same about immediately he's going to get back in the title picture. But obviously he needs to be, because he's pretty much their number 2 guy behind Cena, like you said. And it just makes sense, because he lost the title due to injury. You think they're just going to screw him by not giving him more opportunities after that, even though the authorities in charge and all that. But still, they're going to give him opportunities, definitely. And I don't know how long they'll give him opportunities. Maybe he wins it right away. That's usually what happens. That's the cliched thing to do when someone comes back from injury. Give them the championship. Maybe he won't immediately. Maybe I don't think he'll work his way up, definitely. I think that he'll get shot after shot at the title. And in my opinion, if he does win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, or if it's just the WWE Championship by the time he gets back, I think that obviously his push would continue, which a lot of people think that it wouldn't continue. And if he doesn't win the championship, like in his first couple tries, I think that he'll probably bounce between a main eventer and a mid-carder, trying to maybe help some talents, maybe younger talents and all that. But I think, yeah, definitely when he comes back, he'll be in the title picture. Definitely.
Alright, and we talk about when he comes back, but really there's no date on Daniel Bryan coming back. At first, it was around SummerSlam. That was what people talked about. Actually, Money in the Bank, he actually had a scheduled match against Kane. But then, of course, that got pushed back more. I think SummerSlam was a date that they were thinking about. Obviously, he's not going to be coming back at SummerSlam. But I've really been trying to, think about when he's going to come back to WWE. A couple dates I had in mind was Survivor Series in November and the Royal Rumble surprise entrant. But I don't know. I mean, I think that we both do agree on him coming back and being a main eventer, but really we don't know when he's going to come back. Do you have any take on when Bryan's going to be returning?
In my opinion, I don't know how. I mean, I don't understand how long neck injuries usually last. I don't see it coming back as late as Royal Rumble next year. I don't see that happening. I don't see it being November more. It'll probably be, I see it could be, possibly the earliest would probably be Night of Champions in a couple of months. That's in September,
right?
Yeah, I believe so. September, and then I think Hell in a Cell's after that. It should be sometime around there. I don't see it being very longer. But it won't be really soon. It'll be in a little bit, but not as late as next year, probably. Definitely not, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's going to take a while. I mean, it's a neck injury. Neck injuries are very, very serious in WWE. So I think that they're really going to probably want to be patient with him, because, like I said before, his problem or his popularity is high. So it's not like bringing him back is going to maintain the popularity. I think that if they do wait it out a little bit, that he will still be a top guy. He will still be very, very popular. But the thing is, they can't rush it. I mean, he said at Money in the Bank that he hasn't really recovered as much as he wanted to. That's what's been delaying it. If he does get another neck surgery, more surgeries, that's going to really delay. That's why I even said Royal Rumble. But I really don't see them delaying it past Royal Rumble. I think my latest will be Royal Rumble. And I agree with you. The earliest will probably the Night of Champions, which is right after SummerSlam in September. Then, of course, you got Hell in a Cell and Survivor Series. So I think one of those dates between September and January, on what we have right now, another neck surgery or two could delay that, but what we have right now is in between those dates. So.
Alright, now we're going to discuss, me and Kyle, we're going to discuss who Daniel Bryan should feud with when he returns. When he in fact returns, and all of that. And in my opinion, he'll obviously return as a face, and that's another discussion we'll say during this. We're gonna do, if he does turn heel, who should he feud with, and obviously he's gonna return a face. In my opinion, when he returns, since he will be a face, I see him feuding with the same rivalries he's had in the past. Because I mean, there's no one really new he can really feud with, because he's going to probably, like we said before, probably go to main eventing, getting championship opportunities. And if he does, the champion by then might be John Cena, it might be Brock Lesnar, it might be, it could be Randy Orton, but basically I see him feuding from then on with at least Randy Orton, Kane, who he's feuded with for a long time. I still see that going, because that rivalry really was not finished because of his injury. I see that continuing definitely for a while. And yeah, like I said, Randy Orton, like, they've had their history in the past. I see that rivalry being renewed, and possibly but I don't think this would happen, but a possibility is, of course, Triple H, who we could feud with. And who do you see him feuding with as a face when he comes back?
Alright, I like those three picks, Randy Orton, Kane, Triple H. They're obvious picks. I mean, with all of the authority stuff still going on, obviously Daniel Bryan's going to come back and try to get revenge or whatever. But, you know, with them three aside, I had a couple of names here I had on my list. I had John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. There were four names I was thinking about. So it's really difficult to predict who he's going to feud with, because when he comes back, we don't know what WWE is going to be like. We don't even know who's going to be the world champion. I mean, obviously the candidates are still John Cena, who's the champion now. You got Seth Rollins, who has that briefcase. You got guys like Kane and Randy Orton, who are still really on the top. And then you even got Brock Lesnar, too. Who knows how long he's going to stay around? He might want to stay around longer. Vince might say to him, all right, man, you got the belt now? Just do us a favor and stay around for a couple months instead of leaving after a month or two. I really would like to see that Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan. I think that it's a really good David versus Goliath storyline. You got the little guy, Daniel Bryan, the big guy, Brock Lesnar, and but it's just so difficult for anybody to beat Brock Lesnar. I think that would be difficult for Bryan to step into that situation, because, I mean, whoever beats Brock Lesnar now is better than the Streak, pretty much, since he beat The Undertaker. So I don't know if a Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar storyline will be best. That's just a big possibility, obviously. But the really main one besides the Authority I'm really looking at is John Cena. Simple enough, that feud, like the one with Kane, was shortened by injury. If you don't remember, SummerSlam 2013 or 2012, 2013, Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. Bryan won clean, Cena put him over or whatever, left for injury, did not come back for months. And then, of course, the Money in the Bank, cash in from Orton, and that started the whole Authority thing. But before that, it was the John Cena versus Daniel Bryan feud. But there's a big topic that is in the middle of this. If Daniel Bryan would feud with John Cena, Cena's a big face. I think that would hurt Bryan. He would probably have to turn heel. And I'm going to switch this over to you now. Do you think if John Cena and Daniel Bryan would end up having a mega feud for the championship, would Daniel Bryan turn heel, or would he stay a face? What do you think on that?
Well, I could see him turning heel. I believe he was, yeah, obviously when he was with the Nexus early on in his career. That was a long time ago. But yeah, he was heel early on. He has experience with it. I would see it happening, but it would be a tough choice. But John Cena is also a tough choice to turn heel, and I don't see that happening ever. Not only I don't see it, but it's not the right move, definitely. But I would see Daniel Bryan turning heel, and he should feud with John Cena, obviously, if he were to turn heel. And, I mean, because he's going to be in the title picture, definitely, well, we think. And if the champion's face, then he'll definitely have to turn heel in order to. And in the past, we've seen in the WWE many face versus face feuds. They're kind of rare, but sometimes they do work out pretty good. And it's always like a show of respect between like the two feuding they always show and all that stuff. But I would see Daniel Bryan turning heel. Probably not for that long. Just as long as, like, if he were to turn champion, he would continue it, obviously. But if he were to get the short end of the rivalry and basically lose it, then he would probably turn face after a little bit after that. But I do see him turning heel and feuding with Cena, definitely.
Alright, well, I have one more take on this real quick, and I like how you say Daniel Bryan does have experience as a heel, because he really does. Throughout his indie career in Ring of Honor, I think he switched between heel and face. I don't know much about it, but I know he had to be a heel at least once. And then early in his career with the Nexus, he was a heel. And then I think even during his first World Heavyweight Championship reign, he was a heel. I mean...
But yeah, that's when he started the Yes thing, kind of.
Yeah, that's actually when that grew. And I think that Daniel Bryan is one of those guys, like, there's so many guys that are heels that are still fan favorites. You got CM Punk, who was a heel in his feud with Cena. He was still cheered high, and Cesaro still gets cheered all the time, even if he's a heel. Same situation with, say, Rollins right now. The Shield, they were even cheered a lot when they were heels. So I think that that Daniel Bryan, even if he's a heel, he would show all the heel characteristics, but I still think it would be cheered. So I don't even think that the crowd reaction is really a huge issue there. I think that actually people would cheer him for turning heel in a feud against Cena, because really nobody likes John Cena that much anymore. And for Daniel Bryan to step up and be a heel would be awesome. I think that the feud would be great if Bryan's a face, if he's a heel, no matter what. Obviously, it would probably go in two different directions if he's a heel or if he's a face. But I think that either situation for Bryan will be good. He could really work out a good face feud with Cena. I mean, it could be awesome. We've seen face versus face feuds, like you said. They always do work out well. You know, we've seen them Taker, Michaels, Taker, Triple H. We've seen a ton of them, and I think that in this situation it could work out. But in any other situation that he would have to turn heel face feud, it could still work out fine, because just as the character Bryan is and the character Cena is, so either way, it could be good for Bryan. It will be a great feud when it happens, and it's going to happen. It's going to have to happen at least once with all of Bryan's popularity. So no matter what, it will be a good feud, heel or face.
Yeah, I agree. And like we said, like a couple minutes ago, how the Yes thing started. Basically the Yes movement started when he was a heel, and he was being really cocky, obviously early on with the Yes thing, and then obviously when he turned face, everybody loved it. But like you said, if he were to turn heel in a feud versus Cena, obviously crowds would love him still. But if he were to turn heel in the sense of someone else who's a face that people actually cheer for, then I don't know if he'd be that much of a heel. He'd kind of be cocky like he was when he started the Yes thing, but not like an evil character or anything. Like he'll just be kind of a simple heel, but it'll still be effective if he does turn, in my opinion. So, alright guys, it's time for our final thoughts. I'm going to go first, and I'll hand it over to Kyle. Basically, in my opinion, we're going to see him Daniel Bryan, of course, come back, earliest Night of Champions and latest Royal Rumble at this point. If he were to continue to have neck problems, it would probably go to maybe TLC at the earliest, and maybe, who knows, this sounds crazy saying that WrestleMania at the latest. And moving on, what happens when he comes back, he will be in a title opportunity when he comes back, in my opinion. He'll have his chances, and he may bounce from main eventer to mid-card or helping out some younger talents. Those are a quick summary of what I said, and do you have any final thoughts and summaries, Kyle?
Oh, yeah, pretty much what you said. We think Bryan's going to come back. We don't know the exact date with all the injuries. It's difficult to determine that. I mean, nobody knows at this point, but I do like what you said, of course, going through Night of Champions, all the way down to the Royal Rumble. I don't know. Like you said, we have no idea what's going to happen, so I really am not sure. I was kind of debating, Royal Rumble, is that the latest, or what's going to happen with the neck, more surgeries, obviously going to delay that. But nonetheless, we did say if he comes back, our top candidates, I mentioned John Cena, Seth Rollins, you said Randy Orton, Kane, Triple H. But nonetheless, when he comes back, he's going to have some fun. He's going to be a champion. He's going to do a lot of cool stuff. We know who Daniel Bryan is. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So, yeah, we talked about the face-heel situation, too. Like I said, it really doesn't matter what happens. But nonetheless, I think Daniel Bryan's going to come back and be a successful wrestler. He'll still be over with the crowd. And that's about it. I pretty much summarized everything. There you have it, man.
All right, so those are our final thoughts. And that's the video, everyone. Please like this video, subscribe if you liked it. We have more videos like this coming up soon, where we'll both discuss various topics. You can find us here at Almost Expert Wrestling on Twitter at Almost Wrestling. Find our website. You can enter in almostexpertwrestling.weebly.com, and yes, that fills up the URL bar. But still, be sure to check it out. We have some news and blogs, all that stuff, and of course, Kyle, you can follow him and tell us all about that.
Alright, guys. Appreciate everybody watching. Of course, do not forget to follow me as well at Kyle Smith WWE. I do Raw updates, SmackDown updates, pay-per-view updates, all of that cool stuff. I'm just not doing SmackDown updates tonight, of course, but don't forget to follow me at Kyle Smith WWE for all that WWE cool stuff. Now, thanks for watching this video, and there you have it.
Alright, like we said, do all this stuff, and the links for everything I said and he said are in the description, so just go down there, click on it, and see you all later.